Throughout her life, Lois showed love to those in her care, those in need. She might have been an accountant, but she was not a heartless machine. In fact, she practiced her self-discipline so that she might better show the love of God to others. Besides the daycare, she helped run Rainbows United, as Brooke has shared, a preschool for handicapped children here in First Baptist. She exemplified the love of Christ in her actions. She sang in the church choir here as well, a faithful member, a participant in the work to proclaim the love of God in worship. As well, Lois was one of the main reasons why we have a food pantry here at First Baptist. When she and Jack first joined the church, she noticed the food pantry, well, it was a little sparse. There was a single cabinet that didn't really have much in it. So she set to work. They found a closet that would be repurposed. Jack built shelves to fill it. He would drive around and pick up day-old bread for the food pantry. She would plan out what food was needed so that families could have a full, healthy meal and make sure the pantry was stocked with that food. It was just a couple days ago when we once again opened our weekly food pantry. Just like we have ever since Lois and Jack started it, in the same closet with the same shelves right there in our narthex. And we fed all who came. When I sat with Lois the day before she died, I told her of our mobile food pantry that had taken place the day before on Saturday. I told her how once a month the semi-truck pulls into our parking lot and unloads pallet after pallet of food into our circle drive, and cars line up out the parking lot. She beamed when I told her that 215 cars had lined up and drove home with food that day. When I told her that our church's commitment to feeding those who were hungry began with her. God has given us a spirit of love. That's the way we do it here. But of course, we cannot tell of the love of Lois Eskelson without talking about her love for her family, for her children, for her grandchildren, for her nieces, for her nephews, for their children. We sat in that room just a few days ago and told story after story after story of her love for family, and a theme emerged. We enjoy one another, taught Lois. That's the way we do it. Lois made sure the family would go on amazing trips with each other, helping them to see the world was bigger than what they knew. Extended family trips to Colorado, Moab, Utah, Ohio to visit family, Pennsylvania to see where she grew up, Indiana to see where she went to school. The family still remembers those trips fondly. We enjoy beauty. That's the way we do it here. Lois loved to garden and share the bounty with her family. She loved to make beautiful cross-stitch patterns. If you've not taken a moment to see them in the narthex, please stop and be amazed as I was. She gave them to her children and her grandchildren. She made sweaters for the kids, Barbie clothes for the grandkids, including intricate buttons on tiny little sleeves. She loved classical music. I loved it when I could go over and visit her in the apartment or in her room and see her stack of classical music CDs. Even when she had a hard time seeing at the end, she could take out a CD and put the next one on and listen to the beautiful strains of music. We take care of each other. That's the way we do it here. Lois babysat for the children. She helped them with their homework. Anna still says that her grandma is the reason she learned to read. Edith and Leanne both mentioned how loving Lois was to them when they came into the family. It wasn't even a question of whether or not they would be accepted. That's just what we do here. We enjoy the simple things. Kurt's going to miss Wednesday nights with Mom, watching Dancing with the Stars, eating ice cream, reading, comparing statistics and game notes about the Jayhawks. And let me be clear, we cheer for the Jayhawks. That's the way we do that here. Eric will miss Sunday mornings, giving the weekly update on the family, on everyone's lives. Karen will miss her hugs. She knew in the simple things that Mom always loved her. They all knew it. The day before Lois died, she and I talked about heaven. She was ready. Just like Paul wrote, she had no spirit of fear. And when I say ready, it's just like lunch in the break room. When she says it's time, it's time. She spent a beautiful last day with her family, dreamed about what the next life would look like. And within a few hours, she set her sight on something more beautiful than any of us could ever imagine. Today, we celebrate the beauty in Lois's life, the beauty that she shared with us, the love that she showered upon us. Today, we worship a God who offers that same grace, that eternal love, that forever peace. Let us remember and let us celebrate that this is the way we do it here. I invite you now to stand with me as you are able as we sing another one of Lois's favorite hymns. Number 68, He Leadeth Me, O Blessed Thought. You may be seated. Indeed, from her earliest days, Lois knew that God led her, that Christ led her through all of the difficulty, through all the pain, through the grief that she met, through the struggles that she faced. And so now, I call on you to reach up and hold that hand as Christ leads us through these moments of grief into a new hope, a new joy, and a new love. Remembering how Lois taught us to do it. Go now in that love, and go now in the peace of Christ. Amen.